Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Thursday, March 14th. We're going to take a look at SoundHound today. So we haven't checked in since the earnings reaction, and we put in this chart at that time. But we do see on this latest push today, came to 1025 so far at least, and we had 1054 on the chart. So I feel pretty good in these sort of like manic, crazy moves that SoundHound has, that we're able to come within, less than 30 cents of a level on a day in which it's running up and down and up and down this week, up almost 16, up over 24, and then so far today down a bit over 5. So like I said, it's a little bit of a challenge with some of these crazy volatile stocks to, first of all, put in enough levels to capture the ranges that they can go through in a given day or week, but also to sort of call out the strongest levels, knowing that those are likely the ones that will sort of come into play, at least absent of some additional price action getting put in over a period of time. So feeling good about that 1054. Now it does continue to draw down through this 873. We have this 810, so that's the nearest in level at the moment, at least. I don't know when you're watching this, but if it does continue then through $8 level, 719, 622, and 498. You see the others down here, there's a gap it would get into at about 311 for what it's worth. So I don't know what of that range is going to cover, if any, but those are the levels that we have, and I'm sticking with those for now. Now I'm zooming out here because we do have other levels on the chart that we already had in here. So if it does sort of get back to or through that 1054, 1262, 1451 look like potential strong levels to me. There's not much price action to go off of, but I did the best I could sort of parse through it. And just keep in mind, not only are these levels kind of far away percentage-wise because SoundHound moves, crazy amounts in both directions pretty quickly, but also I wanted to be able to cover a large span. So we've covered basically 250 to like 1450. So a wild span of range there. But I wanted to be able to do so and not have it be so tremendously cluttered that it was really, really just hard to even look at. So there's going to be some additional granular levels that develop over time. Don't exactly know where they are yet because they are in the future. But when that happens, we can come in and see. But that's why there's some pretty big percentage changes between a bunch of those levels. Now, on the think or swim side of things, TTM squeeze indicator way back here in December was calling out this trigger, and then it fired in January and took a long time to lift off, but then it finally did. And boy, did that bring it from, the ones all the way up to, like we said, 1025. And it's quite an incredible call out there by the TTM squeeze indicator. So good on that. That said, histogram now getting a little bit herky-jerky. It had a nice sort of symmetrical uptick and downtick until the recent candles. So these 3 recent candles sort of giving it what I tend to call some hiccup candles. But the question is going to be, especially if it can regain some strength today, is this going to be a second wave? So we'll have to wait and see. Volumes continuing to stay relatively strong, certainly relative to back here, right? But even relative to these days, the sort of huge uptick in volume hasn't totally died off, that's for sure. And it's pretty impressive that it's continuing to hold. Now, channel-wise, obviously, it's way up out of the channel. As it bumped out here, it was originally using the upper bound of the channel as support. Recently went into the channel and used the lower mid-range of the channel as support, so still not coming down to the mid-range. Now the question is, next time it gets into the channel, is that the time that it will test the mid-range? I don't know that it'll follow as systemic as a pattern as that, being upper bound, mid-upper bound, and then mid-range. I mean, that would be kind of cool if it did, because it's so sort of symmetrical in its own sense, but we'll see. But you can see where these levels are at the moment. just be aware this is a dynamic channel, so it changes when new price action is put in. So depending on when you're watching this, those levels might be slightly askew, if you will. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week has been going well. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.